you so much for that. Uh, Good morning, everybody. Namaste to you all. It's a real pleasure to be here on the Great Big Indian Money Show. My name is Sachin Nanda. I come from private equity background, and so it's a real pleasure to have with me Mr. Sharad Chandak, who, as already mentioned, is the CEO of India's largest bank, the SBI, the State Bank of India. Sharadji has over 30 years experience in banking, having started his career with the SBI in 1988. So he has been with the bank for all of his career. Sharadji came to the UK in November 2018 to take on the CEO role. He's worked with the bank across, as you can imagine, all its different verticals, including retail banking, mid-corporate, and stress resolution groups. So Sharadji, welcome to the Great Big Indian Money Show.
Thank you, Sachin, and namaste to all viewers of this webinar.
It's
and
really
I
great
must,
to have you here.
and then I must congratulate the iGlobal News for having this event. The Great Big Indian Money Show. It's a good thing, a good concept, and talking about the private finance, some individual finance, then property, investments, everything. And SBI is a very proud partner of this. And thank you. Thank you for having me.
It has been a fantastic day yesterday, and hopefully I'm sure today will also be just as interesting for everybody. Let's get straight into it. I mean, the first thing, and again, as we were introduced just a moment ago, the big headline is that the SBI has been in the UK for 100 years. So since 1921, that is pre-independence. Now, I certainly didn't know that, and I don't think very many viewers will know anything about that. So Sharadji, tell us, what's been the journey, what's been the story of the bank since 1921? What's its historical footings?
Okay, yeah. So I will take you a little bit in the history. Yeah. So sure. It all started in 1806. So yes, 215 years ago. So Bank of Calcutta was formed, and then subsequently it was redesigned as a Bank of Bengal. So almost thereafter, 34 years after, Bank of Bombay was formed, and after a few years, Bank of Madras was formed. So all these three banks used to known as a presidency banks. And these three banks were amalgamated in Imperial Bank of India in 1921. So when London office started in UK, so it was the branch of Imperial Bank of India, and it started on 27th January 1921. And it was a very limited business we were doing in those days. Primarily three businesses. One was discounting of bills and of Indian trade bills, then borrowing from the local market, and government transactions, handling the government transactions. So these are the three primary business lines were there in 1921. Then we registered our first profit in June 1923, and it was 1,960 sterlings only. Then in 1924, we opened the account of Indian High Commission London office. And in 1924, we crossed the milestone of 1 million deposits. Wow. 1924, yeah. And see, over the 100 years, so with the support of customers, businesses, Indian diaspora, governments of both the countries, the City of London, that is in Square Mile, there is a separate office of City of London. And then the banking fraternity of London. So everything has contributed in growth of SBI. And yes, our staff also, because for last 100 years, many staff have worked for London branch, and many of them have worked for 35, 40 years. So that was a huge continuity. Right. So all this has contributed in the growth. And in 100 years, our balance sheet size has now grown by 10,000 times. 100,000 times. Okay. So we started with,
I can imagine the scale, Sharad, that you've gone through. What's really interesting about what you just said a moment ago is how, in some sense, the bank has been supporting British India connections, whether that's pre-independence, post-independence, during all of those times, it's always been supporting this trade route between the UK and India. Tell us a little bit about the highlights, the milestones that the banks kind of had to go through over that journey. It must have had some very, very exciting and also some very, very difficult challenges as well over that time.
Yeah. So Sachin, 100 years is a very big time, correct? So if I start listing, suppose all the milestones, it will be a huge, big list. But then we will go into the last 3-4 years journey. Okay. So see, we started as a wholesale bank. London office was started as a wholesale bank, and then they were doing in the wholesale banking and the international banking. Gradually, we started opening the retail branches, and then the number went up to 12. So 7 branches are in London, 4 are in Midlands, and 1 in Manchester. Okay, and I think you are from Leicester, correct?
Yes, that's right. Yes,
we are having a branch there also. Okay, yeah. So then we started the retail business also. So London branch was there, and then these 12 retail branches were there. So in 2016-17, the regulators came with an idea of ring fencing. So they said all the retail business should be ring fenced. So then we ring fenced all the retail business, and we formed UK-based subsidiary. So State Bank of India UK Limited. So it was formed on April 18. So we started with the one branch, and then that branch is there. That is a wholesale banking branch and a UK-based subsidiary having 12 branches. So this is the first milestone, I can say that. And second was in 2017, State Bank of India and London Stock Exchange, they collaborated, and FTSE SBI India bond indices was launched. So this indices tracks the Indian bond market, and it is a very good big tool for the global investors to understand the Indian bond market and for the price discovery also. So this was the second milestone, I can say, in the recent years. Third, then in 2019, we launched our mobile banking app. So YONO SBI UK. So naturally, our existing customers can transact through that app. I mean, many transactions can then do, I mean, including the remittances to India. Now, people like those who are not having accounts can open the accounts through YONO app without visiting the branches also. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. And now we will be again just shortly, I think we will be allowing the non-customers also to remit through YONO app. So this was the second achievement, I will say. That is third one.
Quite significant.
Yeah, yeah. And another one, then what happened that recently, when it is a 1 or 2 months development, we have entered into the merchant banking space. So any Indian corporate or public sector undertaking wants to raise money, foreign currency, through bonds. So London branch can handle their primary issuances. And SBI is the only bank in UK, I mean Indian bank, who is providing this service. So this is a big thing. Any corporates who wants to raise money through debt, so we can handle those issues. And we can also help them in listing also. And another development, so is we have launched the Namaste UK. So any Indian who he wants to come or is planning to come to UK, maybe for studies, job, or business, okay? So he can open UK account sitting in India through YONO app. And he can deposit initial money from there, and once he lands here, so he can use that money. So this is a big development which has recently.
That's fantastic, because one of the things that I think we often see, Sharad, is that, and it kind of fits into what some of the things I want to ask you is that, the bank's been around 100 years, but it's constantly had to innovate, right? You've had to be innovative, carving out your own space effectively, where you still have, from the bank's perspective, in terms of the core focus areas, just expand a little bit for me on this notion that, look, I now can open up a account with the bank using my phone. I can be in India or UK, and just sort of where is the bank? What is the space the bank is now carving out for itself as its own USP?
Yeah. So I will break into this two parts. One is for the wholesale bank, London branch, and one is for the subsidiary. Correct. So wholesale branch naturally then see we help the Indian corporates if they want to raise foreign currency loan. So that is the one business where the London branch handles. Then we also sanction loans to the multinational companies and UK-based companies, bilateral loans, syndicated loans, trade finance, merger and acquisition financing, and also we now want to enter into the supply chain financing ecosystem. So that is for the London branch primarily they are doing the thing. Subsidiary, I mean this State Bank of India UK Limited. So it is a retail focus. So and then for them naturally then we are having a huge large number of products. So in deposits we are having the instant access saving accounts, business saving account, cash ISA, flexi ISA. So these are the our deposit products are there. Then our lockers are also in a very huge demand. Always my almost all lockers, all out of 12, 11 branches are having lockers, and occupancy is above 95%. So there will be always be a huge wait list.
Always have a lot of things to put away, don't they?
Yeah.
There's a lot of valuable things to put away.
Correct. And then naturally, the Indian diaspora will be having so they will be owns lockers. Okay. Then we also offer the remittances facility, and our exchange rates you will find that will be at par or very competitive. Then we offer the in loan products. So we offer the loans for businesses, small businesses, and commercial loans or commercial mortgages. Our buy-to-let product is very attractive, very competitive, and very well taken by the local market. So and then just 1 minute, and then now we will be launching one more product for the Indian diaspora. So Indian nationals, if they want to purchase property in UK, so we will be approving loans for them also. So that product is in the design stage, but I think shortly we will be launching that. So it will be a big.
That's another big significant step, isn't it, for the bank and also for people to be able to invest in this.
Because the UK property is always attractive. London property, people want means from across the globe, people wants to invest here in UK property.
Absolutely. I mean, I read 2 years back, pre-Brexit, pre-COVID, that $1 billion worth of money flowed in from India to London real estate alone. So it's obviously a significant market, and that's pretty exciting. Just Sharad, to tell us, give me a little bit of a flavor of what's the bank's footprints here in the UK. How significant is the bank here in the UK in terms of size and operations?
So this London operations is the flagship operations of the State Bank of India, and London branch per se is the biggest offshore branch of State Bank of India in asset terms. Okay. And London branch also help State Bank of India in mobilizing the funds from because London being the global financial hub. Yeah. So naturally then London branch also do the fundraising program, help the fundraising program for State Bank of India. Then we are having the central treasury, so which helps the other offshore branches of SBI, which are in the same time zone. So London branch is a very prominent space in the State Bank of India, and now this subsidiary, which is formed 3 years ago, so which is also gaining size, and it will be the almost it is the biggest offshore subsidiary of State Bank of India.
Yeah. No, that's really good for us to know. So tell me a little bit there. You came here in 2018, and when we were talking offline, I said to you, that's perfect timing. You get to deal with Brexit and COVID as soon as you arrive in the UK. How has Brexit in particular affected SBI in any particular way?
So see, Brexit, yes, So what happened that, I mean, if you see that London is the, as we said, discuss, it is a global financial hub, and all reputed banks, insurance companies, financial institutes are operating from here, and everybody was aware of this, that Brexit is happening, and so they were preparing for that. So that I will say that the transition has happened very smoothly. Okay.
Has it affected
Yes,
any of
but
the customers or clients?
no, I'm talking about now. I will come to SBI. So yes, so there is a, commentators are saying that there is an impact on the small businesses. Yes, and there will be some impact on the property prices, especially office properties and the commercial properties. So we don't have much of the exposure in the European market. Okay, and on deposit side also, hardly over 0.5% of deposit is from the European market. Okay, and then another issue is the passporting right. So subsidy doesn't have any branch in Europe, so that passporting right also doesn't impact us. So Brexit has, I mean, a very minimal impact is there on the UK operations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's clear. And actually, that's in some ways probably this whole thing will probably help you even more. Actually, I suspect in a post Brexit world. Just out of curiosity, just tell me a little bit about the the bank's philosophy or its approach to you've touched on it a little bit already, but just to kind of dig in a little bit on supporting how it supports its sort of individual clients, but also small businesses, particularly focusing on small businesses. How does the bank look to support those types of customers?
Okay. So now let us take the example of the last 1 year, correct? So the COVID has impacted millions and millions of lives, correct? And then individuals, organizations, corporations, and SBI is also not an exception. But our philosophy was to take care of our staff, our retail customers, and the businesses. So for staff, what we have done that, okay, I mean, we allowed them to work from home wherever it was possible, or come in rotations, so to take care of that thing. And for the retail customers, our staff was quite proactive. Our all branches will remain open, throughout this period, and they were quite active. So they started accepting the request on the phone or email, and naturally after doing some security checks, so the transactions are being put through. So that's why, I mean, the retail customers need not to come to branch in this situation,
Yeah.
and they can avoid the non-essential travel. So that was our focus. Then what we found that in this period, the cyber crime or banking frauds have gone up. There was a
Right.
surge. So we tried to educate our customers by sending them communication, and then to take care of that part also. For businesses, wherever it was warranted, we gave them moratorium or the deferments or covenant testing waivers. So all this thing was given. And for by too late, that you may be aware that no that IPSI also wanted that we should be giving the difference, means all retail lenders. So we gave the offered the moratorium to all the retail borrowers.
That's
So I
wonderful.
mean, this way we are taking help of trying to help our businesses.
Yeah, no, and that's important, right? Because the small businesses were probably the most affected and probably the most vulnerable
Correct. Yes.
to some of these changes. Okay, I mean, I'm just conscious of time, so I just want to touch on a couple of other things. So, you mentioned very lightly earlier, but let's just kind of dig a little bit deeper in. How does the bank, or what suggestions would you really give to those who are NRIs here, wanting to, and of course OCIs here? What suggestions would you give to them in terms of how the banking world is changing, and what to expect, particularly from SBI, I suppose, over the coming years?
So see, for NRIs, my first and sincere suggestion will be they should be having the internet banking account. Okay, whether they are having account in India and as well as in UK. So what happened that if you are having internet banking, so your life becomes very simple. From sitting here, you can pay bills in India itself. You can remit money, and even you can bring back money here from your NRA or FCNR account through internet banking. So it is a big tool. So MS now, since the entire world is moving through technology, has already moved through technology platforms. So NRI should also be on that platform. So that is the one thing. Second is the, naturally then most of the NRIs will be remitting money. So I will suggest them not to go only for the rates. They should also see what fees that platform is charging. Correct. So like SBI, we don't charge any fees for our customers, and our rates are already appearing on the website. So it is very clear transparency. So one should be seeing that, okay, how much money is actually reaching to the beneficiary. Because sometimes what happens that people will be giving the better rates, but then they will charging fees, and
Correct.
net
Yes.
effect will be like that. So that will be the same thing. And third thing is that naturally then, in any case of doubt, yeah, we are having the NRI desk here, so they can take help of that. But Reserve Bank of India is also is a website, so they can go through it, and then they can see that what are the changes are happening on the NRI space, regulation changes.
Fantastic. And just to kind of wrap up, I suppose, then, what over the last, say, 12, 18 months, having launched your online mobile app, all the rest of it, has that been your most popular product? What is your most popular product at the moment for the SBI and your clients and customers?
It is a really difficult question, because see, for me, my all products are good, correct? But yes, but then
You have to say that.
yeah, between that. So see, our Cash ISA is a very good product, and it is a very competitive in the market, and we are getting a good flow from in the Cash ISA. Okay, so both versions, Cash ISA and Flexi ISA.
Okay.
Then, as I mentioned, our buy to let product is also very attractive. Not brokers also, then portfolio landlords. We are getting a lot of, and in the last 1 year, we have seen that huge surge of business, or huge inflow of business was there. And third one, locker, as I already mentioned you, it is always in huge demand.
Wonderful. All right, Sharadji, I'm conscious of time. I'm afraid we've come to the end of our chat. There's a whole bunch of questions I still wanted to ask you, but obviously we're not going to be able to get to it. But it's been a real pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Great Big Indian Money Show. And I look forward to keeping in touch. Thank you so much.
Sure. So thank you, Sachin, for having me. And if you are not tested our, I will suggest you to do today itself and give me a feedback.
I will do. I certainly will go and investigate SBI a bit more now.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you.
All the best. Thank you so much.